What up everyone, it's your man XManny87 here, bringing you another Marvel Legends video, and what I have for you today is the Marvel Legends mini comic wave review. Before we get into everything, if you could please leave a thumbs up, like rating on the video, it'll help show your support for my channel and I greatly appreciate it. Now with that said, let's go! Just want to make a real quick plug here. If you need any figure stands or risers, head over to www.elevatefiguredisplays.com and enter the code XManny87 at checkout for a 10% discount. With these modular stands, you can rack them and stack them, set up dynamic displays with a foot base holder to keep your running poses balanced. There's flight stands to have your aerial characters elevated on your display. Or be creative and store some accessories in between stacking the bases so you don't have to worry about losing them. There are other useful items on the site besides stands, like a soft brush to help dust off your figures on your display. So head on over to elevatefiguredisplays.com to enhance your action figure collection. And remember to enter the code XManny87 to get your 10% discount. Now let's start with today's video, and kicking the wave off, we have the Ultimate Spider-Man Miles Morales. Alright, so this Ultimate Spider-Man Miles Morales is the introductory of the new Teen Body 2.0, and so far, looks good. This is exactly what I wanted in a new Teen Body, them adding the butterfly joints, the double diaphragm, you know, making it pinless, which they have retooled it to pinless before. So here is Teen 1.0 to Teen 2.0. There are flaws with this one though, I will say, because the first thing that sticks out, I'm just going to get into it, man. The hips are ugly. They're still ugly from when it was revealed back in the promo images. I mean, right away, when I got this in hand, in the packaging, I already saw the hips protruding, like, through the packaging. That's bad. I don't know if you have the figure or seen the figure in stores. If you have, you probably noticed that. And that is a very bad downside to this. And, like, the rest of the sculpt looks fine. It's fine. But now, comparing it to the 1.0, I don't know. I might sound crazy for this, but I feel like this aesthetically looks better than this. And maybe all they had to do was retool this to have butterfly joints and a double diaphragm joint. Well, yeah, no. At that point, it wouldn't be retooling. It would be an all-new sculpt. So they did that here. I think my main issue is definitely the hips. It's bad. It's really bad. And I know some reviewers are probably going to tell you, oh, if you could get past that, you know, it's a great figure, which, you know, that's fair. But personally, me, I can't get past it. It's that bad. Another thing why I can't get past it, too, what makes it worse, is the hips. The plastic color tone on the hips is totally off from the rest of the body. It's like this light gray, almost, where everything else is black. And another problem I have with the figure is that it's not black enough. The costume is just not black enough. Look at it compared to this one. Like, this is so much darker. This is... yeah, I feel like this is just overall a dark gray, like a charcoal gray. You know, more black than, you know, regular charcoal. But yeah, I don't know, guys. And another thing, this will probably piss you off with Marvel Legends inconsistent scaling, because this is the first thing I noticed. Remember Spider-Boy that's just been recently released? Yeah, he's taller than Miles. That's not accurate at all. Spider-Boy is not supposed to be taller than Miles, and I believe these guys use the same hips, but for some reason they opened up the hips on this guy where it doesn't look bad here. As you can see, it's in line. I mean, nothing looks better than this right here because it's all, yeah, it's all finessed and just well proportionate. So these guys don't even have the same legs, I don't think, right? It's just the hips. It's hard to tell. Lacking muscle definition too, whereas these had some muscle. So yeah, I don't know, guys. It's crazy how the outdate is somehow looking better than the update. I know I might sound crazy to say that, but there's some truth to it. I'm happy this has like the updated articulation. Don't get me wrong, but like when I saw this. Holy crap. That just, no, pissed me off. That is a no-no. He is shorter than the Teen 1.0 body, as you can see. Now, if you did want to bring him to height, he does have the drop down legs, so you can bring him up to the same height there. I mean, he's just gonna look freaking dorky as hell like that, you know, because you're just gonna cause more of a gap in the hips. Comparing the cobwebbing, this looks better. It does. It looks better, but it's not better, and I'll make sense of that in just a minute here. As you can see, the cobwebbing here, it kind of has that kind of flat lining. I mean, there was paint QC here too, but it's a lot thicker. This one's thin, and it just looks better. It looks better because it's thin. It's got the, you know, curly loopy cobwebbing, and it's more lined up than this one. The paint overall is just cleaner because, I mean, look at that spider here. The spider is just like, I don't know, it's like fuzzy and blurry almost. But paint QC strikes again with this one, just like it did this. Where, as you can see, I'm missing paint like right there in that collar area on the neck. It just doesn't fill in. And on the top of the head right here, you can see some issues like right there. That does not line up. You still got the disc hinge right here, so they should have done the double jointed neck. And so the upgrade for the articulation is nice, I will say. Because one thing I will say, once you start posing this guy around, you're not gonna notice the hips. That's just me. I like my figures to look, you know, beautiful no matter what. I want them to look aesthetically pleasing no matter what, especially in vanilla pose. You know, if you don't look good in vanilla pose, you're gonna lose me. But, you know, he's got the double diaphragm joint. It functions really well. I mean, look at that. That thing gets some real good crunch. And, you know, the hips open up real wide, and you can get those nice stances for Spider-Man. And, you know, you got the butterfly joints there. That's very useful. They get a lot more range than I thought they would. I mean, look at that back movement. That's really good. It still needs a little more work in the front, but, you know, you just work around with the torso. I mean, like, the sculpt is not that bad. You know what I mean? It's not. I don't want to make it seem like it's terrible. It's not. Just have some gripes with it. Yeah, you could get down real low. So, again, posing this guy around is fun. I'm not gonna lie. I have a lot of fun posing this guy around. It's just, I like to have my spider suits in a photo class sort of shoot, and so they're all kind of standing straight. So those hips are gonna bother me. Like, having them look dead on, I'm gonna have to, like, have them pose to the side like this to not notice it. So for accessories, he has an alternate unmasked head. The Miles Morales head looks good. Unfortunately, I got hit with the QC bug, so I got this paint mark right there that's not going to come off, and that bums the hell out of me. He does look better than the last one, I will say. The skin tone's more accurate because, you know, he's mixed with a black father and a light-skinned Puerto Rican mom, so it just makes sense that his skin tone would be lighter here. So it's a better looking head overall, I will say that. He has uneven sets of hands, and that really pisses me off. So he has a closed fist for the right, a gripping hand for the left, and he should have at least had two fists, you know what I mean? But nope, they don't want to do that. So you got these, and then you have the wall crawling hands here. Only one wall crawling hand for the left. Now you could take the first Miles hand, and if you want, you can put that on there. It's just gonna look a little bit different because it's thicker paint coating. But, you know, if you're trying to take a photo and, you know, you want to get away with something, you can do that. However, the peg is thicker. I wouldn't recommend it because then you're going to widen the plastic in here, and when you swap again with the regular hands, it's going to loosen that area, so I don't recommend that. Lastly, he has what threw me off here. I thought he had two thwipping hands. He doesn't. One thwipping hand for the right and he has a devil horns gesture on the left right there. And so uneven sets of hands bug the hell out of me. Lastly, here's the mini comic accessory, which is the theme of the wave. Every figure has a little comic of theirs, and they used the inkjet technology here to print that out. That, it looks nice. I'm not gonna say the inkjet is impressive. I mean, you can see like fine little details and the readings there. It's crazy. It's pretty pliable too. It's got Marvel Legends on the back. You get some side details right there, like the pages sculpted. Should be white painted around here, or maybe not. Actually, no, black is fine, because, you know, depending on the borders that they use for the panel linings, yeah, black is fine. But honestly, this is just a waste. I'll get into it later. I know you guys are going to ask me a head swap, and yeah, it doesn't work at all. This just sits on it, and yeah, that's what you get there. And one thing I gotta say, these guys look great together. This Spider-Man Miles Morales with the Maximum Spider-Man, ooh, this is like my new dynamic spider duo now. Uneven sets of hands on a Spider-Man figure to me is always a no-no. They should always be evened out. The articulation is the best thing about it because the posing is super fun. A double neck and toe joints would have taken this up another level. While the sculpt is good for a Teen 2.0 buck, the hips are a huge detractor that brings my score down, but giving it a generous rating of a 7 out of 10. Next is an update we've been waiting on for 18 years to get a hold of with this classic Banshee. Oh, Dwight, next time I see you in person, I'm gonna give you a big bro hug for this one here. Oh man, Banshee in the green, this is what I wanted. I wanted this forever now. You guys heard me say before that the blue one, I'm more tied to the blue one because as a kid, I got the blue Banshee figure first. So this one will forever be, I just think he looks better in the blue and the yellow with the straps. He just looks cooler. And yeah, this is my Banshee, but I acknowledge that I need a green Banshee for my classic X-Men team. So, man, both of these look good. One thing I will say, on the back, they still did, and on the sides, they did the tabs. And you know how much I hate that. I don't get why they did the green tabs here, but on this one, did the yellow tabs on the blue. So it should have been blue tabs. So weird. I don't know, man. It's so weird. But I just wish there was a way to just key the fabric into the sculpt instead of doing these tabs. And I always want to know what this green Banshee looks like, putting the red belt on this and then adding the thigh straps and the other straps on. Yeah, he would look badass. But just want to point out that if you do move his torso up, the yellow paint is staying aligned with the rest of the yellow pattern here that leads to the collar, so that's nice. The only thing I will say that's different this time around is that he has the seams on the gloves, so he uses the shield agent hands, whereas this one's just plain. Interesting. I feel like aesthetically the seams for these hands would fit better on this one because, you know, you got all the straps going on, so the plain one without the seams would fit better on this. Probably hard to tell on camera because my lights are pretty bright and he is a bright yellow, but I did swap that. Oh yeah, that looks so much better. See, the plain, since everything's plain here, you might as well do that. I think I'm gonna do that swap permanently, but just wanted to show you. Then he only has one open hand on the right and it has the seams on it. So again, the shield agent hands. And lastly, he has a right trigger hand, which I don't know why he has a trigger hand. Maybe, you know, to play with his mutton chops or something like that. And he has a gripping hand on the left holding the giant size X-Men mini comic. And oh shoot, yeah, it's got the seams there too. I didn't think the gripping hand had the seams. So yeah, and this one too. So definitely shield agents. Those were the last of the hands. And then the final accessory is this alternate yelling head, which, if you compare it to the last one, this one's so much more detailed. Like, it has a better wash on the hair. Look at the highlights on the hair on this one. The face print is just better overall. And he even has freckles here, you know? He looks more Irish here than this guy right there. I don't know, it's just so plain. So it just loses detail. But of course, you can always do a head swap. Banshee is as expected after getting the 275 version. We just needed it in green. They gave him hands and heads, but we all know that one thing he's missing that's sorely needed. I gave the last one a 9.5 out of 10, and I still love that one more as it has a little more, so I'll give this one an 8 out of 10. Up next is another figure that was in dire need of an update, a classic Adam Warlock. Finally, a classic Adam Warlock upgraded. The last one was in the Target exclusive Red Hulk Build-A-Figure wave, and I'm happy they did this classic version because, you know, there's two classic versions. There's the red and gold one, but my favorite is this one right here, the black and the red. Although I would like to see the red and gold one of these days. And, oh, he just looks so good. He looks so good. I know he's on the Vulcan body, but he still looks so good. But I'll admit, they fucked up. They did, because he should have been on the Punisher War Journal Buck with the double diaphragm joint. That's what he should have been on. Get all those nice, you know, poses and flight and all that. You know, he's supposed to pivot his torso and all that. You know, missed opportunity there. But still a good looking figure. It just sucks when they give us a wave with no bath and give us stupid gimmick features like the mini comics. They can't upgrade a lot of these figures. But taking a close look at the head sculpt here, you can see Goldie is looking nice. Gold skin right there. I feel like there's a slight shimmer to it, and maybe I'm just tripping, but it still looks nice. I like the black eyeshadows around it. He's got a nice grinning expression. The hair is spot on. I really like this hair. You can see the cape, the collar part of the cape. Gets a little sloppy there with the paint. You can see some red bleeding through. Damn, both sides. And you got the little logo right there in the middle. It's plastic. It sucks. It's a, you know, one of those hard, pliable plastic capes. I hate plastic capes so much. There's a peg right there. You could plug it through onto the back. The red paint does bleed over the yellow a lot in some areas. For accessories, you saw he had the closed fist, so I swapped them out. He has a trigger hand for the right, and he's holding his Infinity Gauntlet mini comic right there. And on the left, he has a regular C-grip hand holding his Karmic Staff. And that's a really nice sculpt on the Karmic Staff too. So the staff is pretty detailed. You can see some of the nice details on the head of the staff. So that looks good. Yo, this has been like my main healer in Marvel Rivals. If you guys play Marvel Rivals, then you know, man, this guy... He's a beast of a healer, and he always cracks me up. Hacha! 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 I got that stuck in my head now. Lastly, my favorite accessory is the Infinity Gauntlet, and this just looks so freaking good. I mean, look at that. He looks badass. One of the few wielders of the Infinity Gauntlet in the comics. And this is just a nice sculpt altogether. You can see all the Infinity Gems on there, each color, red, orange, blue, purple, yellow, and then the green on the top right there. It's a really nice sculpt. It's very glossy, so it's got a slight shimmer to it. I just wish it was more gold than yellow, but it still looks good. The best thing about Warlock's Infinity Gauntlet being in two pieces is that you can put it on former wielders of the gauntlet, such as what you see I did here, putting it on Spidey, Mr. Fantastic, Black Panther, and Deadpool. It's definitely my favorite accessory in the wave. Just the update I needed, but I wanted something more, and that was the torso upgrade. Also, open splayed out hands were much needed too. Terrific head sculpt, wished he had an alt head with the soul gem on his forehead. The Karmic Staff looks great, and the Infinity Gauntlet is my favorite feature. I'm rating Adam Warlock an 8 out of 10. The long-lost son of Wolverine, Daken, gets an update, but is it worth it? And another update we get here is Daken, and yes, it is pronounced Daken, not Daken or Daken. I actually have a friend who's Japanese, and he told me the correct pronunciation. It is Daken. I know a lot of people mispronounce his name wrong, but onto the figure. It's mostly comprised of the Sunfire Buck. It is pinless. There are some new parts added onto this, so while it's sadly on the Sunfire Buck still, one thing that bugs me is adding newly sculpted parts onto very outdated existing bodies, and it just kind of throws everything off. You might as well have given them a new sculpt, because it would have complemented these arms more. These arms look really good. Very Wolverine-like buck to them. Not the same as Wolverine, as you can see. These are the new Wolverine pinless arms. So he doesn't have like the hair sculpted on. But look, man, they got some great bulk to him. You know, got the veins bulging out too. Yeah, I love the tattoos here on his arm. That's so nice. One thing I will say, the butterfly joints on here, when you move them back, it's out of alignment. You can see it doesn't line up well. And then the skin tone here just looks gray because it's pretty much a brown plastic molding, and they just painted the flesh tone. They should have done it the other way around. But yeah, you could tell the difference. It doesn't look good there. But that's the only thing. But he's got the triple claws, bro. That looks so good. Damn, I like it. However, it is a bit on the flimsy side. So yeah, it doesn't feel good. I just like the way that is on the inner palm right there. He's got his belt. This is also new Wolverine stylized boots right there. So that is cool. And as you can see, this one has a lot more bulk to them. The black trimming is a lot larger. It's really nice. Yeah, this freaking peg hole on the back just sucks. But the head sculpt is nice. It looks really good. I like the kind of scraggly looking mohawk there. The face print tech just came out nice. He's got a slight stubble, like a goatee stubble. He's got this sadistic smirk eyeshadow. So yeah, he looks dope. And for accessories, he has an alternate masked head. So you got the Wolverine mask there, and love that sadistic smile on there. Looks good. Looks really good. You can swap the head with the Wolverine one, and it fits perfectly on here. Not color-wise, just saying physically it does. But it would work better with the more tan look from the Juggernaut Build-A-Figure wave or the vintage one, because that had the more tan kind of color. And this one, as you can see, is too bright. But it's a good option if you want to give to Wolverine one of these days. Then lastly, he has one right hand with just the two claws out, not the third one. Which I wish we had a matching hand with this. That would have been nice. Or two fists. But no, they had to put this freaking mini comic in. And that's the Dark Avengers mini comic. And you can see the regular gripping hand on there. And you get the shoots right there sculpted on. So, and they weren't lazy on that. But it's just weird how they painted metallic silver paint on here. And this is just a regular gray. It's just a dull looking plastic. They didn't paint it. That is absolute garbage. Talk about the cheapest Hasbro cop-out. There you go. Can't ever escape those Hasbro-isms, man. Not gonna cover articulation, but since these are new arms, I want you to see that he can get really good range on these. There's some good and bad to this emo Wolverine. The outdated buck completely negates the newly sculpted parts. Some of the paint usage was applied poorly. The only real use for this is to keep the current Dark Avengers team they are rounding out look up to date, but hard to do that with an outdated buck. I'm rating Daken a 5 out of 10. Now another one to add to the Hall of Armor collection for me in this newly updated Ultimate Iron Man. We got Ultimate Iron Man here, who is another upgrade. He was in the very first Hasbro Marvel Legends wave, which was the Annihilus Build-A-Figure. And I gotta say, man, he looks freaking awesome. And I know the Ultimate designs aren't everyone's favorite designs. Trust me, it wasn't mine either. I didn't like this costume at first for Iron Man. But then, I don't know what it was. I think I was playing Marvel Ultimate Alliance, and the Ultimate Iron Man skin was the one I was always playing with the most for some reason. It just grew on me. I ended up liking it. I don't know, maybe it's because things just look better in video games to me. But yeah, just over time it grew on me, and I like the way it looks. And the way it looks in figure form, not bad. I gotta say, one complaint I have is that I think it's too dark. The armor should be at least a shade lighter. And I'm looking at it, you know, on hand and in my camera screen. On my camera, it looks lighter. And if I, you know, hang up the contrast here, yeah, I feel like it should be a shade lighter. But it's not that bad. It still looks nice. And you get the reds, you get your metallic golds in there too, which is nice. It's a very clunky armor, and it makes the figure look clunky, but in a good way, because, I mean, this is pretty much comic accurate, man. It's so good. You got more metallic gold, the faceplate, they did right. I mean, look at that thing. Would have liked the metallic red, but not too bad. You get some blue in there on his power cores, and then, yeah, this is pretty freaking dope, man. And those big gauntlets, just a lot of details. They really went heavy with the sculpting here, and it's definitely an admirable job here. The articulation is pretty decent. It could be rough in some areas. I wish he had a butterfly joint. He doesn't have that there. He does have some good elbow range. It's rough on the neck area because I want him to look up so bad, and that collar just hinders everything. I mean, the good thing is that he has the double jointed neck, so he can pivot real well, but if only there was a way to make him look higher than that. One thing I've been wanting them to do with Iron Man is doing the ball jointed waist, because they always give him an upper torso. They either give him the regular traditional ab crunch with the hardline waist swivel, or the upper torso rocker. And I wanted the torso rocker with the ball jointed waist, and they finally did that, so I'm happy about it. So he can pivot somewhat. I just felt like, again, Hasbro is so weak with their ball joints. It's not anything to really brag about. I mean, it doesn't get that much crunch. I mean, it moves back a decent amount, but I feel like it should get more out of this. I don't know. It just feels there's so much left to be desired, and I'm like, why are you even going to do this kind of articulation if it's not going to be utilized properly? It's just kind of stiff, man, and it's a bummer. I really hate that, because the look is there. Aesthetically, this is how Iron Man's armor should look in figure form with this kind of articulation scheme. It's just they got to capitalize on the articulation so it can actually articulate properly, like how I want it to. The legs might be a little bit hindered. This part of the thigh, in this hip area, kind of almost have to tuck this part that's sticking in and tuck it underneath. It's going to cause some friction. But also, I feel like, look at this, it's going to peel some of the plastic off. I don't know how I feel about that. So, you get your articulation with the double jointed knees, which is really good. I mean, he almost gets heel to the butt there. And he also has an ankle swivel, which is nice. He's got some ankle rockers too. So the ankles are good. Now for accessories, I'm happy he comes with a set of fists, because my Hall of Armor display, all my Iron Mans have to have 2 fists. If they don't, I'm passing on it. So I'm happy he has that. He has the repulsor hands. Of course, you can plug in an effect and it'll work. However, missed opportunity here. They didn't give him a port right there for his little mini rocket launchers, and that would have been nice. It would have given the figure a little more highlighted flair in the accessory department. Then lastly, he has 2 C-grip hands and his comic of Ultimate Iron Man Volume 1 holding there, and that's pretty much it. I'm happy that at least this figure has all even set of hands. One day I would love to see them do a gantry, because the Marvel Selects made a version of this that included the gantry, and this thing is freaking awesome. Mine is broken. I'm missing some cables, as you can see, and yeah, like this piece is broken. It's like holding on. Yeah, it's a little bit broken, and I want to find a way to display this in my Hall of Armor. I use it for some photos, but I'll probably buy a new Marvel Selects one just for the gantry and pose it there. But yeah, it's just so cool. You have like the cables there, and you could plug them into the figure. I don't have the Marvel Selects figure anymore, but this was such a dope accessory. But let me know if you want to see Hasbro do a light up Hall of Armor diorama, because I think that thing would sell, especially if they give us some bonus Iron Man armor figures in that set. I feel like Hasbro nailed the sculpting from top to bottom here. Well done paint. The torso functionality on the articulation front was not fully maximized to its potential in getting the most range out of it. However, this might be the best looking figure they've ever done from the Ultimates universe. I'll score this a 7.5 out of 10. To round out the wave, we have a dream figure for some in the line, and it is the Marvel Legends debut of Rom the Space Knight. Oh yeah, Rom the Space Knight. This is a dream come true figure for me in the Legends line. Always wanted a figure of him. And I just had to get all my geeking out off camera because I would keep gushing over this dude nonstop. But he came out phenomenal. Like, all metallic silver paint. Come on, you know how much I love that. Just looks great, man. I wish they did this with Death's Head. Just looks beautifully well done. Nice, reflective, and it's just so good. Very intricate sculpting details from the line work to all the outlines, and yeah, it's just beautiful. The thrusters right there, I like the paint. I wish there was a port there to like plug in some blast effects. That would have been nice to have them, you know, just blasting off if you want to put them in some flight poses. I don't know why they didn't think of that. That's a missed opportunity there for sure. But yeah, you get some tubes right there. He looks really, really good. Some more line work, the thigh highs, all that is just so clean. This is like one of the cleanest figures you'll see. And I love the way they did the eyes. The inkjet right there. He's pretty tall too. Measuring him out, he passes the 7-inch mark just a bit. And I feel like this guy could have been a Build-A-Figure. Measuring him out next to a regular size figure in this wave, we'll take out a Warlock here. You can see he has some really good height. But these are the type of figures that excite me in the line. The best heroes you never heard of. Hacha! Hacha! And this guy gets down and dirty with articulation. I mean, the double ball jointed neck. It just moves so nicely in every angle. It's just perfect. And then you got his arms. No butterfly joints. But they still move up pretty high. Just be careful because it will get scratched. So, yeah, I lost some paint chip, you know, posing this guy around. So he does pose really well. The torso, I'm super impressed with. Like, I mean, look at that bend right there. Holy crap. He has a double diaphragm joint, which I absolutely love. So you got the inverted ab crunch and the upper torso rocker. So you could, you know, swivel it, angle it however you want, rock it around. Nice pivoting. And the thigh highs too. Like, the thigh swivel is right on the thigh high. So I love that, you know. Hides a cut. You got your knees, and yeah, they bend in real well. So look at how this guy could get into a crouching pose. So it's really, really nice to see how well this guy can articulate. So, oh man, this guy can move. For a 7-inch figure, this guy can really move. He just feels so flexible. It's crazy, because you would think a ROM figure would be pretty robotic, and far from it. So for accessories, he doesn't have fully evened out hands. He'll have his fist for the right hand here, and then he has this relaxed hand, and you can see how robotic they are. The lines in between the fingers, they're very subtle, as you can see. Then he has 2 gripping hands with the vertical hinge, and he has his analyzer right here and the blaster, which is a lot larger. Also, he has a blast effect, which is dope, and you can plug that in on the blaster, and it just plugs in like so. So that looks so freaking cool. And it also fits on the analyzer as well. So however you want to, or wherever you want to put it on. Some great details on this. Look at the circuitry work behind it. So good. And lastly, here's his mini comic with his first ever comic issue. I don't have anything bad to say about Rom. If I did, it's very minor. He's pretty much everything I wanted him to be. I know some people don't like the double diaphragm joint with the upper torso rocker and inverted ab crunch combo, but it works perfectly here for the character's aesthetics. The articulation is smooth as butter, and everything about it is just spectacular. He's a straight up 10 out of 10. Total awesomeness for me. Now to wrap things up, my final rating of the wave as a collective is a 7 out of 10. I was going to score this wave a 7.5, but the fact that there is not one single female in this wave, it brought it down for me. Imagine getting the updated classic Elektra in red, or a comic Nebula that's needed in the line. I would have easily ditched Daken for one of them, as I'm not that big of a fan of his. But mainly the mini comics was the biggest waste for me. Talk about a slap in the face. This is why I'm against retro waves, because a lot of times we get stupid gimmicks like this. I know I keep sounding like a broken record, but shit, man, I hate buying a wave and not getting rewarded with a bath out of it. I know there's cherry pickers that don't care for baths, but I'm not talking to the cherry pickers here. I'm talking to those like me who are wave collectors. At the end of the day, it's essentially still a free figure because they'll still charge the same price at the end of the day with or without the bath pieces. No one will ever convince me out of that, as you know I am and will always be pro bath. I'd rather get a mini bath like that Cosmos figure because at least it's still an additional figure. These comics are useless to these characters and are only good for fourth wall breaking characters like She-Hulk, Deadpool, Gwenpool, etc. Those are the characters I find these mini comic accessories to be acceptable for. I could already see some accessories in this wave that could be included in a Maximum Deadpool, like the mini comics and Infinity Gauntlet. Anyways, not just missing out on the bath, the mini comics robbed us of some much needed accessories. I'm sure they blew a pretty good portion of the paint budget on these when most collectors will deem these as useless. Just goes to show that Hasbro has no idea how to use that paint budget wisely. We could have gotten evened out hands to pair with every figure here, an effect for Adam Warlock's Infinity Gauntlet and Karmic Staff, and the big one would be a Sonic Scream effect for Banshee. So while we get a good amount of accessories here, we also lost a good amount needed due to these mini comics. I like the character selection for the most part. Again, just needed a female. We get a lot of figures here that needed updates from those dark days of Hasbro. I know I may have sounded negative as I harped on a lot of things, but it's not a poor wave. It just had some poor choices made here. This wave will help fill a lot of gaps needed in the collection. Your Avengers, your X-Men, your Cosmic Shelf for guys like Warlock and Rom. The debut of Rom is a can't miss. That's a top 10 or top 5 comic figure of 2025. My favorite out of the wave. I'll still recommend the wave for the most part. Get the ones you want or the whole wave if you need, as there's fun to be had with each one. Now I kick it back to you. What do you think of this first ever mini comic wave for Marvel Legends? Do you like it or do you think it's a waste like I do? Who's your favorite out of the wave? To rank mine from top to bottom, rating score aside, it goes Rom, Adam Warlock, Banshee, Miles, Iron Man, and Daken. Comment below, let me know, we'll chat about it. Thanks for watching another Marvel Legends review. Please follow me on Instagram if you haven't already at xmanny87. Hit the notification bell so you always know when my latest videos are up. Share and subscribe if you're new. See you on the next review. Peace, peace.